عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. All right, Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Welcome to our virtual hour for the youth. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you, to give you the best in dunya and akhirah, ya Rab, ameen, ameen, ameen. We're live on Facebook. Today's topic, inshallah ta'ala, is referencing and focusing on an ayah in the Quran that is very relevant to the way that we should be dealing with our parents. And then inshallah we'll be looking at a few examples from the companions and the tabi'een and the way that they dealt with their parents. And the reason for this, especially in this time, as we're spending a lot more time at home, we can take our parents for granted. And also there's a tendency to, you know, when people spend too much time together, especially when they weren't used to spending that much time together, sometimes we can have an increased level of conflict or an increased domestic dispute levels or you know, confrontations between parents and children. And of course the relationship between the parents and the children is bi-directional, meaning that I can't expect my kids to treat me with respect and honor and obedience and all those things that we sometimes hear from our parents without giving them the rahmah and the love and the autonomy and the respect and the room to grow and to develop and knowing when to be what for our children. But of course, we can't always focus on, you know, everything at the same time. For today, inshallah ta'ala, the focus is on the way that we should be dealing with our parents as children, especially when it comes to the Quran and the Sunnah. So let's begin, inshallah, with an ayah from the Quran. Let's look at 1724, Surah Al-Isra. Let's look at Surah Al-Isra, ayah 23 actually. Let's start with ayah 23. And let me share the screen here so that you can follow along with me, inshallah ta'ala. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, after أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا ربكم أعلم بما في نفوسكم إن تكونوا صالحين فإنه كان للأوابين غفورا. Very powerful ayat, very powerful ayat. We know there are many times, several times in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He's decreed that we should worship Him, and right after worshiping Him, what's mentioned is being dutiful, being respectful, being kind, having good treatment towards our parents. Here is one of them. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ, Allah, your Lord, has decreed أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ, that you should not worship anyone besides Him. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Right after that, what's mentioned is being kind with excellence and ihsan towards your parents. Whenever one of them reaches old age or weakness, you know, sometimes you look at your parents and you're like, subhanAllah, you're miskeen, you have an accent, I don't, you don't even know the law of the land, I do. I am much more capable, you know, I'm much more technologically advanced. Because of the generational gap, when they reach old age and you're at the height of your youth and you're at the height of your, you know, strength and power and ability, you can actually sometimes take them for granted. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, don't even say uff to them. And uff is subhanAllah like the utterance. You know, for example, when the example that I like to give is when your mom tells you wash the dishes and you say, okay, fine, I'm going to wash the dishes. And as you're washing the dishes, you're saying, oh, man, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm doing it, okay, fine. So that little oof that you let out, that little, you know, subhanAllah, gasp of air, that it's not even fully a word, but it's an expression of your dissatisfaction. So don't even say the word oof subhanAllah, it's a big deal. Like, don't say uff, ولا تنهرهما, and do not speak to them in a way that repels them, in a way that turns them away from you, in a way that changes their state of heart towards you. So ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما, and speak with generous, noble words to them. This is subhanAllah so powerful. This ayah is so powerful for a few reasons. Number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, speak with them generously. Some of us, the way that we speak to our parents, when we speak to our kids, or when we speak to our friends, we're very generous with our words. We'll talk about anything and everything. Lots of things. We'll talk a lot when it comes to our friends. But when it comes to our parents, we don't speak. We speak very little. How was your day? It's fine. What did you do? Nothing. What happened at school? None of your business. That's not, subhanAllah, that's not a way to speak to our parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. Remember that, your whole existence in this world is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the means through which you come to exist, your parents. So assuming that your parents are doing what they should be doing as parents, you should be doing your part to speak to them with noble words, with generous words, with kindness, and of course, لا تنهرهما. Do not repel them. Do not raise your voice at them. Do not speak to them in a way that shows disrespect. And don't even say uff. Do not even say uff. The word uff, the utterance uff, to them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says in 24, وَاخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. Lower your wing, lower the wing of humility. Lower the wing of humility. Very incredible. What does that mean? When you reach an old age, when you reach, you're 18, you're 17, you say to your mom, listen, I'm free, I'm independent, I'm like a bird, I can soar high. So when you reach that point where you can fly away and you don't need your parents anymore, you think you don't need your parents anymore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when you reach that age of independence, when you reach the age of maturity, when you reach the age of capacity where you can actually live on your own, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, lower the wing of humility out of rahmah for them. So be humble and imagine you're a bird. Instead of soaring high and raising your wings above your parents, lower those wings. Lower those wings. Contain yourself. SubhanAllah. Out of mercy. So humble yourself, have humility with your parents, and do it out of mercy. And then in addition to that, وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. And make dua for them. Oh Allah, have mercy upon them. Because just like you're struggling and you have your struggles as a teenager, your parents also have struggles. And their struggles can sometimes be very difficult to bear, and they may not be able to share them with you, and they may not be able to, express them. Our parents live in a time and lived in a time where they weren't, taught to express their emotions. So they're going to carry all of these burdens and carry all of these difficulties and carry all of these heaviness, right? This heaviness upon their shoulders, and they may not even be able to express that to you. So you should be able to, subhanAllah, reach a point in your development with them where you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have rahmah. Rahmah. Sulaiman is asking, when can we move out? You can move out. You can move out technically as soon as you're independent and as soon as you're financially capable. That's not an issue. But the question is, even if you move out, you still have to carry your parents in your heart. Right? You still have to carry your parents in your heart. You could be 16, 17, 18. You can move out whenever, but the question is not when you should be moving out. The question, and I'm talking about males, right? Well, technically, you can get married at 16, 17, 18, and you can move out, right? You can move out. You can have your uncle, you can have your brother being your mahram. Technically, there's so many ways they can find a mahram. So the question is not about a mahram. The question is not about when you move out or when not. The question is, do you value the sacrifices that your parents have made? Imagine, subhanAllah, Ali ibn Abi Talib saying, don't use your tongue against the ones that taught you to speak. So many of us, we are very quick to treat our parents, especially verbally, with a negative treatment verbally. But we forget that the words that we're using, many of them, we were taught by our parents. And sometimes, there's that generational gap. Of course, there's that difference of opinion. Sometimes, of course, there's that collision between interests. Of course, it happens. But if we can't learn as young people to negotiate and to subhanallah, to speak and to negotiate with our parents, who love us more than anything, who love us more than we love ourselves sometimes. We might not even be aware of it. If we can't learn to negotiate with them, how are we going to be able to negotiate with everyone else around us? Does that make sense? If we can't learn the art of compromise and the art of, negotiation with them and through them, how are we going to be able to negotiate with people that don't even wish us well? Right? And we always say to our parents, hey, I want you to feel where feel my struggle. You don't understand me. Well, same thing with your parents. If you want them to understand your struggle, what about you trying to also understand their struggle? Right? What about you understanding also where they come from? And I'm not saying there aren't examples of abusive parents. There are terribly abusive parents, and there are many examples that come to my office of that. And we deal with that accordingly, subhanAllah. But I'm also saying that the majority of parents are doing more than what they can to give us the best and to do the best for us. But many of us, unfortunately, we still have a little bit of ingratitude, right? I don't want to use generalizing language, but we all know where our weaknesses are, and we all know where our strengths are. And I want to just share with you a few stories, because sometimes people say, Sheikh, I understand that I have the Quran, I get it. But, sometimes it's difficult. Fair enough. Let me give you some of those stories that have really inspired me when I was in the same age, right? The judge, Shuraih al-Qadi, his son, Ibn Shuraih was a judge in Egypt. Ibn Shuraih was a judge in Egypt. And he was a very respected scholar. We're talking about, 600, 700 plus years ago. And he lived next to the masjid. So sometimes he would sit in the halaqah and he would be giving a halaqah, a lecture, to hundreds, sometimes thousands of students who would come from every corner to listen to what he has to say. And then one day, his mother yells out in the middle of the halaqah. His mother yells out in the middle of the halaqah. Imagine he's a sheikh, he's a senior, he's old, he's respected. His own mother yells in the middle of the halaqah, and she says, Ibn Shuraih, feed the chickens, feed the chickens. Now let me ask you, if you were in that situation, your mom in the middle of a class that you're teaching starts yelling at you, feed the chickens, feed the chickens. What would you do? Let me hear from you. What would you do? I'm reading the chat, but if you also want to use your mic, please, you can use the mic as well. What would you do? You would get embarrassed, tell her, okay, tell my students to wait, be a little bit patient. I would feel very embarrassed. I would tell her that I'll do it later. Listen, I'm in the middle of teaching. Woman, wait for me. I got things to do right now. You would care about your mother more than your students. Good, excellent. So what Ibn Shuraih did, he got up and he said to his students, there are many of me that can do this lesson, but there's only one of me for my mother. Allah, let that sink in. He said, there are many of me that can teach this lesson, but there's only one of me for my mother. And he got up with a smile on his face. And he went and he calmed his mother down quietly. And then later on, we find out in the narration that his mother actually was suffering from dementia. So she had memory loss. And they had actually moved out of the house where there were chickens years ago. So there were no chickens. Imagine, now keep that in mind, his mother suffering from dementia. Instead of saying to his student, listen, don't worry about my mother, she's just having one of her episodes. She's lost her mind, or she's having, memory relapse or memory lapse. He didn't say any of that. He got up, excused himself, and didn't want to embarrass his mother in front of people. And didn't want to, show his mother in a negative, showcase his mother's vulnerability, showcase his mother's weakness. And from this story, we learn that, yes, your mother, your father, they're going to have weaknesses. When we're kids, we grow up thinking our parents are everything. We think our parents are, there are rock hard, mashallah, tabarakallah, shoulders that we can lean on for everything. And that's true. But when we grow up, we also come to realize that they're human beings, that they have weaknesses. And sometimes when we realize that they have weaknesses, and when we realize that they've had shortcomings in the way that they raised us, we get very defensive, and we become very angry, and we become very emotional. Yeah, so your heroes when they were little, Sister Amna excellently put, and all of you, may Allah bless you and give you Jannah for those. Your heroes at the end of the day, they're human beings. And when we come to see those mistakes, see those vulnerabilities, instead of, pushing on those buttons of vulnerability, we should seek to what? We should seek to, with respect and rahmah, strengthen those vulnerabilities and overlook those mistakes and shortcomings and help them and aid them and make them look good in front of other people. Imagine imagine when we were little and we made a mistake in front of our kids, in front of our mothers, right? How would they react? How would they react? Of course, with forgiveness and rahmah, and knowing that they're there to raise us. So sometimes we forget that sometimes we also have to raise our parents. Just like they raised us, we also have to raise them. Raise them in status, raise them in position. Make dua for them. Overlook those mistakes. Overlook those shortcomings, right? And of course, our tradition, our Islamic history is full of incredibly beautiful examples. Incredibly beautiful examples of the rahmah that we should have towards our parents. So let me just show you here very quickly some of those beautiful examples. Let's look at some of those beautiful examples together. Can everyone see my new shared screen? Actually, let me try sharing again. All right. So let's look at those examples. Muhammad ibn Sirin, who's from the Tabi'een, whenever إذا اشترى لوالدته ثوبا اشترى ألين ما يجد, whenever he would buy a cloth or a clothing, like a dress or any attire for his mother, he would buy the most soft, the softest and the most valuable that he could find. And when it was Eid time, he would make something specifically for her, and he would actually dye it. He would find the best dye. So back then in the day, they didn't have like clothing available, so he would do something by himself. So when was the last time in a Eid gift, for Eid gift, you actually did something with your own hand for your mother? Instead of, oh no, Eid is coming, I'm a day away, let me just order something online, here you go, mom, I love you, bye, assalamu alaikum. He would do something with his own hand, and he would not raise his voice. And when he would speak with her, he would speak with her like someone who's in love speaking with his lover. In a of course, mashallah, tabarakallah, we don't watch haram videos, right? We don't watch haram movies. We don't do that, mashallah. But I'm sure you've seen and you're aware of, and maybe you've come across a novel, or you've come across, all of us are aware of the idea, right? All of the idea of how one speaks to someone who one loves. When you love someone, how do you speak to them? How do you speak to your wife, your husband? How do you speak to someone that you love on a honeymoon? On your honeymoon, softly, exactly, softly, kindly, beautifully. You're teasing. You're. It's very sweet. It's very sweet. It's very soft and beautiful. How do we speak with our parents? Oh, no. What do you want? Okay, fine, I'll do it. What about me? You have 7 other kids. Why do you always speak on me? I've already done the dishes. I already took the garbage out. I did that last week. I got homework to do. So subhanAllah, not like that. No. It should be with softness and with love and from the heart. SubhanAllah. And imagine the way that you communicate with your friends, the way that you communicate with your the people that you really, really love, people that you enjoy being around. What is it about, subhanAllah, some of us, and why is it that we don't enjoy as much our parents' company? Right? I'm going to take questions in a second, Sister Sadia and others, and Brother Umar and Brother Suleiman and Sister Sabrina and Brother Ahmed, and all of the questions that are coming. Give me 1 second. I'll take them in a second. Tamam? Let me give you another another, subhanallah, example of that. Look at this. Abu Hurairah did not make Hajj until his mother passed away. And when Hassan was asked, why was this the case? Or what is bir al-walidain? He responded, he says, it's to spend everything that you have for them and out of love for them. And to listen to them as long as it's not a sin. So imagine, Abu Hurairah, he stayed and he did not do Hajj. He did not do Hajj until his mother passed away. And this reminds us of the story of Uwais al-Qarani. All of us know the story of Uwais al-Qarani. When the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he was sitting in the masjid, and the companions asked him, Ya Rasulullah, tell us about someone whose dua is answered, who's never turned away by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he told them there's a man, his name is Uwais, from the family of Al-Qarn, so Qarani, he's Uwais al-Qarani from Yemen, and his dua is never, ever, ever rejected. So they all wondered why. Who's this guy? We want to meet him. And they kept looking for him. And every Hajj, Abu Bakr would go and try to find him. Umar would go and try to find him. Even after Rasulullah passed away, Abu Bakr and Umar would go try to find him. Abu Bakr eventually passed away without finding him. And Umar finally, a few years in his khilafah, in his rulership, finally he found Uwais al-Qarani in one of the trips. And he asked him, come here, you have no idea, subhanAllah, the Prophet Muhammad mentioned you in the best of regards. What is your story? What is your story? And of course, we know from the hadith the Prophet is that he had a mother and he didn't leave his mother to join the Prophet. His mother was sick and the Prophet Muhammad was initiated into prophethood in Mecca, and Uwais was in Yemen. He didn't leave. He said, you know what, I'm going to stay with my mother and take care of my mother rather than go and live with the Prophet and attain the ajr, the reward of being a companion. So imagine when choosing between being a companion and staying with his mother, he chose his mother. He chose his mother. And the Prophet Muhammad he says, he reached the point with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أَقْسَمَ عَلَى اللَّهِ لَأَبَرَّهُ, that if he were to ask Allah for anything, Allah would give it to him. So his dua became answered. And of course, Uwais was so humble that when Umar told him, live with me, I'll take care of you, you can stay with me here, I'll make sure all your needs are met. He eventually went to Hajj when his mother passed away. So imagine he missed the Prophet, he missed Abu Bakr, he missed a few years of Umar's khilaf, and finally he went when his mother passed away to do Hajj. And there Umar found him. And when he told him, stay with me, I'll take care of all your needs, Uwais al-Qarni said, you know what, I appreciate it, but I want to be in the shadows. I don't want to be in the spotlight. Let me be. And he left. And of course, we know, like Iyad is mentioning, the story of the man who was carrying his mother, and another narration carrying his father on his back during Hajj. And Amir al-Mu'mineen was asked, did I finally fulfill my right towards my father? Did I finally fulfill my right towards my mother? And the response was, you didn't even show appreciation for one of the cries that she let out during birth. Subhanallah. Just let that sink in. Now, the question comes in, what should we do when our parents, especially our mom, screams and lectures us about everything that we did in the past, even though that was a long time ago and it's not relevant to anything that I'm doing now? Look, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. My mother's not perfect. Your mother's not perfect. Our parents are not perfect. We can't expect that they're going to be perfect all the time or any of the time, because they're human beings. So sometimes they become emotional. I get it. Yeah, like even subhanAllah, I'm emotional sometimes. Right? You're emotional sometimes. Our parents are emotional sometimes. And when you reach that point where our parents are, becoming abrasive or becoming repetitive in their words, and it's hurting us, what should we do? We should do the best that we can to be patient, to communicate with them. Mom, you know what? I get it. I know. I'll do the best that I can. Right? remind them, forgive them. As long as it's not violent and it's not like leading to, anything that would be clinically diagnosed, then I would be patient and I would ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive them. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is patient with me. وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Let them forgive and let them forget. Do you not wish Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you? As we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us, we should also do what? We should also ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive them. Right? May Allah bless you and give you Jannat Firdaus. Ibn Abbas, when Ibn Abbas was asked, what does it mean to have what does it mean to have bir towards your parents? وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. What does that mean? He said to them, imagine the example that he gave. He said, imagine you have dust on your cloth, dust on your clothing, dust on the clothes that you're wearing. And then all of a sudden, you want to wipe that dust off. So you start moving your thobe or your clothing back and forth to wipe that dust away. And accidentally, that dust was carried by the wind in the direction of your parents. He said that would be considered disrespect towards them. So imagine for Ibn Abbas, you have to reach a point of understanding and respect with your parents that even when you're sitting down, you're thinking about when I'm going to get up, how I'm going to get up, and which direction I'm going to move my clothing in if it's dusty to wipe that dust off without it in any shape or form going towards them. So reaching that level of conscience or consciousness and awareness, being aware of your parents' needs, that you're showing them that respect and you're avoiding anything that could be seen as an act of disrespect. We have other companions and tabi'een, when they would sit with their mother to eat, they would have different plates. They wouldn't eat from the same plate as his mother, one of the tabi'een. And he said, in narration, it's Muhammad ibn Sirin, and he would say that, I'm afraid that my mother would look at one of the morsels of food, would look at one of the pieces on the plate, would look at a chicken or would look at a piece of meat, and I would take it first. I'm afraid that I would take it by accident, take something that she was desiring. Because I know my mother, she wouldn't want to say no. She'd always want the best for me. So what I would do is I would make sure that there's the exact same plate. I have some and she has some. And she would have her plate and I would have my plate. So that I wouldn't take the piece that she would desire. SubhanAllah. And the stories are so many. We know the example of the man who came to Rasulullah ﷺ and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I came to struggle with the Muslims, to fight along the Muslims in this very important battle against injustice and oppression. But I left my mother crying because she didn't want me to be here. So Rasulullah ﷺ, he said, there are many of us that can fight the battle, but there's only one of you for your mother. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. And he told him, go back and make your mother happy. That is your jihad. That is the reward with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Go and serve your mother. That is a greater reward than being here fighting against injustice and against oppression. So imagine how many of us social justice warriors, we stand in front of audiences and we yell and scream and tell people, we got to fight this and we got to do that and we stand for the rights of minorities when our own parents are being oppressed by us. So remember that it starts at home. It starts at home. Imam al-Shafi'i, he says beautifully, he says, if I'm going to backbite anyone, he's being poetic here. Because when you backbite someone, all your hasanat go to that person on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So if you say something negative about someone, or say something that they wouldn't want to be said in their absence, they get the reward on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Imam al-Shafi'i, he's commenting on that and he says, if I'm going to backbite someone, I'd rather backbite my own mother because then she's the one who's most deserving of my hasanat. You see what he's saying? He said, why would I ever give anyone my hasanat? If I'm going to backbite someone, or if I'm going to mention someone in their absence in a way that they would take my hasanat, the only one that's worthy of actually taking my hasanat is my mother. Of course, he's not saying backbite your mother here. He's just reminding his people the people that are listening, that why would you backbite? And the only one who's worthy of your hasanat, subhanallah, is your family, your mother. Subhanallah. Al-Hasan was asked about someone who's told by his mother, break your fast, break your voluntary fast. Break your voluntary fast. So when does this happen? Let's say you're fasting and your mother, you go visit your mother. You're fasting Monday or Thursday and you go visit your mother. And your mother she has some food and she wants you to eat the food. She's like, Habibi, I want you to have some of my kosa mahshi, or I want you to have some of my biryani, or some of my butter chicken that I've cooked for you. And you tell her, no, I am fasting today. No, the companions and the tabi'een agreed that you eat and you'll get the ajr of the fast and you don't have to make up the day, and you get the ajr of being kind to your mother. Subhanallah. That's how big it is. Some of the fuqaha say that if you're in salah, if you are in sunnah, you're praying sunnah, and your mother asks you for food or for water, you break the sunnah and you go to your mother, and you don't have to make up that sunnah later. Because your duty towards your mother is a fard, and the sunnah, of course, is not a fard, it's a sunnah. And you get the ajr of the sunnah, but you get the ajr of being dutiful to your mother. Fard, you cannot break the fard salah. وَلَا تُبْطِلُوا أَعْمَالَكُمْ. May Allah bless you. Some people with the hadith that says Jannah is under your mother's feet, the hadith is weak. So the hadith is weak, but the meaning is valid. Same thing with your father calls. Same thing. You break the sunnah, anything that's fard, you stay, but anything else, you go. Same thing with your father. For example, we know, listen to this. Two of the tabi'een were jailed, a son and a father. And the son, what he would do is they would have to make wudu to get up and to pray fajr. They were jailed unjustly. And the cold water was too cold. So the father was struggling to make wudu with the cold water. The son asked the guards to give him warm water, but the guard refused. So what the son would do is he would take the water and he would wake up 2 or 3 hours before fajr. Listen to this. And he would take the pot of water and he would lift it close to the heat that's coming. So close to the fire. Back then they had lanterns, the torches. So he would lift it close to the torch light and he would hold it for a few, like half an hour to an hour, so that it would be warm enough. And sometimes he would hold it for like more than an hour, so that it's warm enough for his father to wake up and to make wudu with it. And eventually, can't remember which imam, when he heard this, said that is better for him than qiyam. That is better than standing up at night praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala voluntarily. Isn't that beautiful? And Amna, sister Amna, no, Jannah under your mother's feet, the hadith is weak. The hadith is weak. But the hadith, when the man came to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, who is, out of all the people that I have around me, who is worthy of my companionship? Man ahaqqu an-nas bi husn sahabati, Ya Rasulullah. Who has more right over my companionship, over my time? I'm struggling. I have friends that want my time. I have my wife that wants my time. My kids that want my time. My work that wants my time. So much. Where should I start with? After I've given the duties, I've done my work, now I have extra time. What do I do with that time? He said, your mother, your mother, your mother, and then your father. Your mother, your mother, your mother, and then your father. So that hadith is authentic. Maliha and Amna are asking, when we backbite someone, they get our rewards. But if they forgive, do we get to keep our deeds? If they forgive you, yes, you get to keep your deeds. If your parents, if our parents are treating us wrongly, like if they're hitting or abusing, that's wrong. Under no circumstances should our parents be using like physical abuse that leaves a mark or that wounds you emotionally. Once in a while, like let's be frank, and even according to the Ontario law, you're allowed a specific amount of discipline, like physical discipline that doesn't hurt, doesn't leave a mark. It's not done out of anger, it's not done out of frustration. It could be done to like shake someone up. That's fine. So read about the laws and read about the fiqh. So subhanAllah, our fiqh is very similar to what the law says. So we don't leave a mark. If your parents are like, if your dad is pushing you just to come on man, wake up and don't do this is bad. I'll give you a little nudge. It's not hurtful. It's not physical. It's not physically. It's not leaving an impact. That's fine. But if it's leaving an impact and if it's emotionally impactful, that is haram, and should not be done. Should not be the case. And if your parents are doing that, remind them that it's haram. Remind them that it's haram. Remind them that it's wrong. Remind them that it's illegal. And if they still don't stop, then you should get someone involved. Speak to your local imam, speak to your authority, speak to someone that you trust that can navigate the situation and make sure that your rights are maintained and your rights are not compromised. Maliha is saying, what about the hadith? When someone reaches 7 years old, you should teach them. And then when they reach 10 and they stop and they're not praying, that you should discipline them. The hitting, ad-darb, that is mentioned there is darb that does not leave an impact, does not leave a mark, and darb that does not leave emotional trauma. The Sharia is very clear. So when you look at the hadith and you look at the commentary and you look at the way that it's been practiced, this is darb as in discipline. You wake someone up, come on, stop it. Prayer is important. Get up. It's not like, take a belt and start smacking them with the belt. No, that's not appropriate. Islamically, that's not appropriate. Right? It's just a way of, like you said, Amna, to show them that it's serious. It's serious. Sometimes we all need that shaking, yeah? That shaking when something is important and we're not taking it as a serious matter. We're taking it lightly. Tamam? Jazakumullah khairan. All right. If you have any more questions, send them this way, inshallah. And I'm going to just check quickly the Facebook to see if anyone has asked questions there. If you have any questions now is the time to ask. May Allah bless you and your families and give you Jannatul Firdaus. Okay, perfect. May Allah bless you and give you Jannatul Firdaus for tuning in. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us better children to our parents, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make our children better towards us as parents and to make our parents better towards us as children. Ya Rab, Ameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. May Allah bless you and reward you and give you all Jannat Firdaus. Thank you for tuning in. I'll pass it back on to you, Sister Haneen.
Assalamu everyone. So we do have a short Kahoot prepared for you. So if you want to log into Kahoot. Okay, so the game pin is 8942877. Okay, so I think we're almost there. There should be 20 players. We're at 18, so let's give it another minute or two. It's going to be pictures of different masajid around the world. Okay, if anybody has any trouble seeing the screen, please either unmute yourself, let me know, or type in the chat box because we'll get started inshallah in the next minute. Okay, we're gonna get started. Okay, so there's gonna be 10 questions. So I'll read out the choices. So red, Saudi Arabia, yellow, Turkey, blue, Palestine, green, Egypt. Where is this mosque located? The screen froze. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna stop this then, and I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna need everybody to join in again. I just did the team mode. Hopefully that gives everybody a little bit more time. What you're gonna have to do though is put in a team name, and then it's gonna ask you to put in team name members. So just for the team name members, just fill in like I guess like a random name or just like a number, just so you're able to play. And let's try this one again. Hopefully this gives some more time for us. Okay, so let's do that again. Here's the new Kahoot number, 5269823. Just pick any team name. You can just put your name and then put your name again under the team players, just because I'm thinking this will give us a bit more time, and if there is any lagging or the screen isn't showing, it gives you more time to be able to see it. Just add one nickname, just enough to let you log in or to let you participate. I don't know why this is happening. I remember doing it last week on the weekend and it didn't happen. So I'm not sure what's up with it. I am sorry about that, but hopefully this will work a little bit better this time. Okay, so I do have 21 names now. Just in case there's someone that's not yet on, I'll give it another minute. I'm really glad I didn't lose you guys, so thank you for hanging in. Jazakumullah khair. You guys have a lot of patience, which is amazing. Okay. Okay, we'll get started. So that's 10 questions. Hopefully everybody's able to see it this time. Okay, so this should give us about 35 seconds. Can you guys see it? Anybody having any trouble? That's very cute. I see SpongeBob on my chat. Can't see it? Okay, no. Now you can? Yes, thanks. You can't see it. Farida thinks you can. There's about 10 more seconds. Can you girls not see it? Yeah, Mariam can see it. Okay, 14 people. So 14. Okay, so from the 21 people that I have, 19 of you guys just answered it. So inshallah, it's gonna work. You saw it after a little while. Yeah, I'm not really sure why that's happening. You see it after a while. Okay. Okay, did everybody else see it? Like, is there someone that did not see it after a while? Okay, let's continue. It froze at first, but now works. Okay, perfect. I'm glad to hear that. All right, next one. Let's see who came in first. What do we have? Hiba, mashallah. Hiba, Dana, and Salad. Who's Salad? All right, number 2. Where is this mosque located? Okay. All right, so now we're at 28 seconds. Can't see it yet. Okay, inshallah you'll be able to see it. There's still 20 seconds on the time. I really wish I could stop the timer, but unfortunately I can't. I do see people answering, so we're at not 10 answers, 11 answers, 13, 14, 15. Okay, you guys have 7 seconds. Okay, 4 seconds. All right, and that was located in Morocco. Good job, everybody, mashallah. Okay, what do we have first? Oh, Ahmed, come up to 2nd place, and Salad, you're holding at 3rd place. Nice, mashallah, good job. And Hiba, you're still in 1st. Okay, number 3. Okay, so the options for this is red India, yellow Qatar, blue Turkey, and green Pakistan. It's frozen. Okay, I think it's gonna freeze for a little bit, but inshallah you guys, because I am seeing answers coming in. There's 13 seconds. Okay, I don't see a lot of people answering this one. I think it's still frozen, I'm guessing. Oh, there we go. 2 more seconds, everybody. Mine is still frozen. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm just gonna wait a little bit of time before I move on to the next question. I'm really sorry that this is happening. I wish I could control this a little bit more. Okay, I'm just gonna wait until it flips, or maybe I'll go on to this page and then we'll give it like 10 seconds. What do you guys see now? You guys see the scoreboard now? Okay, everybody sees the scoreboard. Wow. So I don't know why the scoreboard is coming up and not the other one.
Yeah, it only lags when you click on the question.
That's really weird. I'm not sure why. The game wants you to lose. Oh my. It freezes on where is this mosque located. That's very weird. All right. Let's try it now. Bismillah. Okay. So do you guys see like the blue mosque? I mean the blue screen right now? Okay, do you guys see that? It's up now. It's frozen on the question, no. Yep, it's frozen. Oh. Okay, I don't want us to continue if this is not working. I can't see the picture of the mosque, it's frozen. Same. Oh my goodness. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm really sorry guys that it's lagging like this. So, oh, you guys can see now? Okay. Okay, you guys have 7 seconds. Come on, come on, come on. 19 answers. Okay. Perfect. 20 answers. Okay. All right. Let's see. That was located in the United Kingdom. And we have, oh, nobody got that one. Everybody guessed UAE, United Arab Emirates. Okay, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna stay on the screen for a little bit longer. Maybe that works. But good guess, everybody. No one got it. Yeah, no one did get it. That's a first. Okay, I'm just gonna stay on the screen a little bit. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe it will help a little. Okay, let's see what we have at first. Ahmed Hanafi came up to first. And we'll go down in history. And then we have Salad. Who's Salad? Is that your real name? And then we have Hiba, Aya, and Amna. So we have Hiba, Aya, Amna. So we have 3 girls taking the top 5. Is there Islam Mosque in the Kahoot? I don't know. I didn't do the Kahoot. Okay, I'm assuming Salad. I don't know actually. Salad's a boy or girl, but we have 3 girls leading. Come on, boys. They have like 2,000 points or something, and I'm at 600. Safe is at 600. Yeah, Ahmed's at 2,300. Oh my goodness, between Ahmed and Salad, I feel really weird calling someone Salad, but they have, it's like 17 points. Okay, moving on. Ready? Question number 5. All right. You guys see that? Frozen. Oh. I don't know why it's doing that, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, I see somebody just answered. So we have 1 answer. We have 2 answers. There is 15 seconds left on the clock. Oh, people are just guessing randomly? Okay, well, I'll read out the questions to you guys. Red is India, yellow is Pakistan, Indonesia is blue, Malaysia is green. 8 India. Okay, good job. Let's see who's in first. Salad came up to first place. Salad, I'm not going to know who you are, and you won't be able to get points. But if you can't see it, there's no point in saying it. I know. Should I describe the mosque to you guys? James, LeBron James, what? In case I climb up. Oh, Ahmad Ghazal is LeBron James, or did you switch the L from the J? Oh, okay, I'll tell you guys when there's like 5 seconds left. So, Maryam Abdurrahman is hello. Okay, who's Salad? Salad, you're in first place. Oh, Salad is her name? Okay, what's your last name? Oh, it's autocorrect. So is it Saad? Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, Saad. Oh, Omar was expecting Salah. Salah. I was gonna say. Okay, cool, cool. Oh yeah, I see why it could have been Salah. All right. Okay, I think that's enough time waiting on the screen. Let's see. Question number 6. You guys, I'm gonna try explaining the mosque, okay? I'm really bad at explaining. Okay, so it's like, looks like it's made out of complete sand. It's like sand all the way. And like there's things coming out of the sand. Can I just give you the answers? I actually don't know the answers because I didn't make up this. But yes, Kareem, you do have a very, very good point that not fair for people to get points on this because of not being able to see. So we'll probably have to let this Kahoot go. Okay, 19 people answered. Oh, it's in Mali. All right. And Salad, who we now found out is Salah, is still in first place. Are you guys able to see the timer and like anything, or is it frozen on the questions that you guys like, the question screen? I think that's what you guys said, is frozen on the question screen. Only when it stops lagging, it lags and then like pops up quick. Yep, on the question. And it's happening with everyone. That's so weird. At the last 3 seconds it pops up. That's really weird. Gives you 4 seconds to answer. I don't know why it does that. Okay, maybe next time we'll play a different game. Do you guys have like any other ideas for games? Let me know, like type it in the chat box and then I'm gonna look into it because I don't know why it's lagging like this. Gym kit, is that a thing? Gym kit? Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Scribble.io. Okay, I'm gonna look into all this stuff. Okay, next one. We're almost done. And I'm really sorry it's not working. I feel really terrible about this. I think we could use Discord for screen share. It doesn't like. I'm not really sure. Okay, guys, this mosque is like completely white and it has like white marble floors. And the options are red Kuwait, Oman yellow, blue Qatar, UAE green. I see a lot of you guys answered, so I'm hoping it's working. Oh, this one didn't lag. This one didn't lag. Oh, I know. 10 of you guys got that right. So it's in UAE. I think, but don't hold me to this. I think that mosque is called something Zayed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't guess. Okay, next one. Let's see who we have in first place. Saad, you're in first place. Okay, next one. Yeah, these mosques are like all over the world, so I'm not really sure. Oh, it's in Malaysia. That's beautiful. Okay, so I think you guys are able to see it now, right? Is it not lagging? I feel like the last few questions it no longer decides to lag. Okay, we'll keep going then. Question number 9. All right, where is this mosque? Oh, inshallah, this mosque looks so beautiful. Look at the sky. Can you guys see it? Yes. Oh, great. I see 12 answers, 13 answers. Okay, so Malaysia. That's another one in Malaysia. Nice. And only one of you got it right. What? Most of you thought it was in Indonesia. Oh, it froze. Okay, the last one. Salad, or sorry, Sad. I'm so used to saying salad now. Sad, you're still at the top. I only got one answer right. It's okay, Ahmad. It's really difficult. Honestly, I think I only knew one of them too. I didn't do this one, so got safe, got 2. Well, Sad, you're mashallah, you're getting them all, or most of them, since you're at the top. Okay. Where is this located? I think this is our last one. Okay, and this is in Syria, and 8 of you got that correct. Inshallah, good job. I think that was our last one. Yes, it was. Okay, so again, just to be fair, and I know one of you did mention this, that because unfortunately it wasn't working for everybody, I don't think we're gonna count these as points, but I'm definitely gonna look into, oh, Dana and Dima came in 3rd place. Okay, sorry. We're gonna look into another option for next time. I think what we'll do is I'll have a Kahoot ready. If it works perfectly from like the first time, we'll continue playing. If it doesn't work, I'll have a backup and then we'll play the backup, whatever it is. I know somebody mentioned over here. I'm just gonna write them down. Yeah, right there. Okay. From Ahmed Hanafi, he suggested these 2. I'm guessing they're websites or, okay. Perfect. So I'm gonna save them and then inshallah next time it'll work. Is there a Kahoot where you can see the questions on your own screen? No, I don't think so, because the point of Kahoot is to watch it on the screen of the person who's sharing. But I'm not, like, again, I'm not 100% sure if there's something as an alternative, but I know Kahoot doesn't have the option where you're able to see on your own screen. So that's unfortunate. I really wish we were able to do that. That would have saved us a lot of trouble. Okay, well, jazakumullah khair, everybody. I hope everybody had a lovely Eid. And if you have any questions, let me know, because I will be ending the meeting in like a minute, because I have a meeting to jump on. So let me know if there's any questions. جزانا وإياكم. You're very welcome. All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Oh, I'm glad you had fun, Amna. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.